Hi guys, like I'm so sad right now because I just came to like a realization these past few days have been so hard for me. Cause like you know how men say that women have toxic feminism and like you'll get to a certain age and like no one will want to marry you and no one will love you. Like I feel like I've gotten to that point, guys. Like I was so hung on to this feminism thing and I missed out on marriage and on children. And now like I'm at a point in my life where like I'm so bitter. I'm so jealous of people who have marriages because they're so happy and their husbands don't even cheat on them. And like men are just the best. You know, like right now is when I'm realizing like I can't do without them. And right now I'm like, I don't care like if you are rich or poor, tall, dark, handsome, ugly, I don't care by the way. As long as you're a man and you're breathing, like that's the only qualification I need because I'm just so desperate for a husband. Like there's a lot of pressure around me, so if you can DM me and propose, I swear I'll behave and I'll marry you immediately. I'll wash your clothes, I'll cook for you, I'll have your children and I'll be obedient and a submissive wife because that is what you guys want.
All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ha-Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which taught us the truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure to the end. Shalom. Alright. These prophecies that are in the Holy Scriptures are coming to pass every day. Alright, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, because this is a brother's video from GMS, it says, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. And that's Isaiah 4:1. Which when you hear that woman, she literally said these words. Isaiah 4:1, and in that day, what day? In the last days. Alright, we are in the last days of this wicked ass society. That's why she's all stressed out. We're in a time of tribulation. The tribulation is going to increase to where a lot of people are going to die. It says, and in that day, 7 women. This doesn't mean literally 7 women. 7 is a number of completion. So a complete amount of women to fulfill the prophecy of Israelite women are going to be saved. And how are they going to be saved? Through being married to an elect man. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, which is a dress. Only let us be called by thy name, which is marriage, which is actually sex, to take away our reproach. Alright, let's go back to that video. Listen to what she's saying. She's literally saying exactly what those scriptures are saying.
On them. And like men are just the best. You know, like right now is when I'm realizing like I can't do without them. And right now I'm like, I don't care like if you are rich or poor, tall, dark, handsome, ugly, I don't care by the way. As long as you're a man and you're breathing, like that's the only qualification I need because I'm just so desperate for a husband. Like there's a lot of pressure around me, so if you can DM me and propose, I swear I'll behave and I'll marry you immediately. immediately. I'll wash your clothes, I'll cook for you, I'll have your children, and I'll be obedient and not submissive.
All right, and it's not gonna be where we propose. These women are gonna propose. You just seen the scripture. It says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. The reproach is the shame. So they're gonna propose. See, she said that was wrong. You know, if any man will propose to her, she'll accept it. Well, really, the woman is supposed to propose to the man, and the way she proposes is by offering up the box. This is verse 2. In that day shall the branch, which is the men of Israel, that are of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, it says, and in that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. All right, so salvation is only for the Israelites. 1/3 will be saved in America, 2/3 will perish because they are deceived. All right, now let me go to Isaiah 13. Why is this man going to be glorious and beautiful? It says right here, I will make, verse 12, I will make, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir, which Ophir represents America. And you saw the gold rush, the desire for the gold of America. I'm in Colorado, and Colorado was a known part of the gold rush. All right, which there was people coming in from all over the world to try to get the gold and get rich. That's how it's going to be for the men. All these women are going to be trying to find us to try to be delivered from the perils. All right, because that female, she even said at this time, which today is September 24th, 2021, the year of hastening the coming day of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, and she said she was stressed out from all the shit going on around her. She didn't even say nothing about a man really having money, that she needs a man with money. She needed the comfort of a man. See, just a man's presence is wealth to a woman, because it comforts her. You see? And that's what these women of today, and they're not even women, they're females, all right, lacking faith. Women, the word woman, all right, the original definition is a female servant, all right? But today, there's these women, they're females. A lot of them are trying to be feminists, minus the faith. When you go to Ruth 3, all right, the women understood that they needed a man for rest. It says in Ruth 3 verse 1, then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, because Ruth was married to Naomi's son, but the son died. And so she followed Naomi to Israel. And Naomi was explaining to her about getting a husband. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it might be well with thee? So why is this woman upset? Because she don't have a husband. A woman is able to rest when she knows she has a strong man in her home. You see? Or associated at least. Verse 3, and this is the proposal that women are going to do for the elect Israelite men, the hopeful elect. This is how they're going to propose. It says, wash thyself therefore. All right, so they're going to wash their ass up and anoint thee, meaning they're going to make themselves smelling sweet, and put thy remnant upon thee. Get dressed, and they're not going to be in skin-tight booty shorts or yoga pants. All right, so the world can see them, as it said in Isaiah 3, that they will wear their own apparel. Women are supposed to be covered up modestly in dresses. They're not supposed to be out here in pants and with their pussy and their ass exposed. They're supposed to be covered up. Their breast is supposed to be covered up, and even really the head is supposed to be covered up. All right, when they get naked is when they're alone with their husband. The woman's body is for the pleasure of the husband, not for her own gain, and it's not for the world's eyes. It says, and put thy remnant upon thee, and get thee down to the floor. So the men are not supposed to get down on one knee and propose to a woman. The women are supposed to propose to the men. But make not thyself known unto the man, so don't say nothing until, which is submissive, until he shall be done eating and drinking. So you're not supposed to be nagging him. You drinking too much, or why are you eating like that? You're supposed to just get down on the ground and be quiet. And it shall be when he lieth down that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, pretty much make him comfortable, and lie thee down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. Pretty much he's gonna roll over and want to have sex, and that's what you do. You please your man. All right, you got these females, calling people like Kevin Samuels looking for advice, but in fact, you're just to go ask the man that you want to be with for him to tell you what to do. And you do that by being by him and pretty much handing over the box. Oh yeah, there's another scripture I wanted to get. Was 1 Timothy chapter 2. That supports everything we've been reading. It says in verse 9, in like manner also that women adorn themselves. The word adorn means make themselves beautiful in modest apparel, meaning simple and covered up, with shamefacedness, meaning you ain't supposed to be thinking you're equal to the man. You're not even supposed to be looking at him in his eyes. You're to be looking away, downward, in submission and sobriety, meaning you're not supposed to be a drunk bitch. Not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array. So you're not supposed to be decked out with precious stones or gold rings. You're supposed to be simple and modest, humble, discreet, obedient, submissive to your own husband. But which becometh woman professing godliness with good works. So doing these things is a woman professing godliness. A woman getting married, a woman wearing a dress, being dressed in modest apparel, all right, and teaching young women how to love their husbands. because really the men, which we're going to go back to that, of having multiple wives. So the older women that been with the man longer were supposed to teach the younger women how to love their husbands, because they're going to be more knowledgeable of those things, being in a relationship longer with them. See? But instead, they see each other as fucking competition today. And that's what the white man did. The so-called white man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, he taught our women feminism. They don't need a man. And that a woman is equal to a man. And that a man is supposed to worship the woman. All that shit comes from the Edomite and the other nations. Alright? It says in verse 11, let the woman, the female servant, learn in silence with all subjection. The subjection is under your husband's rule. You're to be quiet and do as he tells you. Not what you think is right. Not what your friends told you. Not what your psychologist, told you, or your ex-boyfriends. None of that shit. You're not even supposed to have ex-boyfriends. You're supposed to have one husband, and he's supposed to be the one that took your virginity. It says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived by the serpent. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which was the serpent in the Garden of Eden, and still is today. But the woman being deceived, but she believed in his feminism, was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing. And how is a female to receive seed from a man, to bear children? Through sex. If they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. Now let's go into that interlinear and see what they have there under that childbearing.
Strong's G 5042. Technogania.
It says childbearing, Strong's definition. Yeah, maternal duties. Alright? So how does a woman get pregnant? Through sex. That's how she takes on that last name. Through sex. See, and women back in the day, they used to value having a husband. Unlike today, I mean, you used to have that spirit back then, but it wasn't as loud as today. Today is a godless generation. All right, more than ever before. But it tells you that this Israelite man, he had a daughter, and he promised to sacrifice her by accident to the Lord. And it tells you what she does, though, because she's a virgin. And the reason why he was so excited and he spoke out of the pocket was because he was getting victory over the Ammonites, the Japanese, for Israel's sake. And when she comes out the door, it says in Judges 11, I'm going to just read from 36. It says, and she said, this is the daughter speaking to her father, and she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto Yahweh, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth, for as much as Yahweh had taken vengeance for thee of thine enemy, even the sons of Ammon. So the Lord had favor on him, on her father, which was an Israelite, and he killed the Ammonites. He gave him victory over the Ammonites, the so-called Japanese. And she said unto her father, let this thing be done for me. Let me alone for 2 months. It says, let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my fallows. And really what she was doing, when you understand the law, she was trying to get raped and lose her virginity before she died. Because where is a woman's rest? Being married. And the marriage was through sex. Alright? And if you didn't have a husband and you were found walking in the wilderness by yourself, we have a law that you were to be able to be grabbed up and taken and made a wife by force. I'll get it. It says in verse 38, and he said, go, and he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And really back then, they understood that a woman is accomplished by being married. And really accomplished, bringing children of the lineage of their husband. Alright, because children come first come through the man's loins. Alright, into the woman, into her uterus, which she has an egg. You have the sperm that come out of the nuts of a man, and they go into the woman's uterus, one sperm, or you get 2 sperm, which they get twins, or so on and so forth, and it goes into the egg. The egg is really the bag and the placenta that grows around the baby. Alright? Now let me go ahead and get that law about when you find a virgin not betrothed. Verse 28, Deuteronomy 22, verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed. Betrothed means she's engaged. Alright, because engagement was as equal to marriage in our customs. And lay hold on her, so he grabs her and lie with her, and they be found, which her companions would have found her, and would have been able to say, hey, this woman, she's been fulfilled. But she didn't, the Lord didn't allow it to happen. Then the man that lie with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. Alright, so that's what that woman was doing. When she went into the mountains to bewail her virginity, she was down with her father sacrificing her for the Lord, but she was upset because she was still a virgin. And they even put that in the movies today, where they'll say, don't kill me, I'm still a virgin. Because a woman, her accomplishment in life was to be married, to be useful to a man. And sex and in childbearing. See, but you got these women today, females, all right, by definition, feminists, which are really vain and worthless. They're no good. And by the time they want to settle down, shit, their whole pussy be looking like fucking Arby's sandwich. They got a fucking hysterectomy because all the different sperms that been shot into her uterus and all the different abortions. Man, you know, these females of this generation, a lot of them are going to perish. It says that in the Apocrypha, in 2 Ezra 16, this ain't my opinion. This is biblical, all right? It's prophecy that these things would happen. And as sure as that woman is fulfilling prophecy of Isaiah 4:1, begging for a husband, all right, this prophecy is going to come to pass too, of these women not being able to find husbands and dying. It says in 2 Ezra 16, verse 33, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. So there's women that are virgins, and they're mourning just like that female in Judges 11, not being able to find a husband. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Which, there's even the women in that time, they would have jumped on a relative. Look at Lot's daughters. All right? So these women ain't even going to have a brother or even their father to take them, because they're going to die in the war and in famine. It says, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, just like Lot's daughters. Why do you think they had no husbands? They were betrothed, but they didn't believe Lot. Their husbands, the two daughters of Lot, their husbands that were engaged to him, didn't believe Lot that they were gonna, the angels were gonna destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. It says, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right, there's famine of bread, and there's famine of the word of Yahweh. All right, so these women are gonna perish, including their husbands. And these women that are looking for husbands, a lot of them ain't gonna find husbands. They're gonna die alone. And that's part of the prophecy. All praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Ha-Rakah Kadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which taught us the truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure to the end. Shalom.